Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the ProfitMAX podcast. And today we're going to hear some success stories from this successful lady entrepreneur. It's a rare breed, entrepreneurs are a rare breed. And I can tell you, women entrepreneurs are even more rare, even fewer. Okay, because entrepreneurship takes a lot. Some people look at it and think it's very easy. Yeah, it looks easy from outside. When you see people are successful, but entrepreneurs, they have not only big dreams and big goals, but they also have a burning desire to succeed and a lot of grit and determination and full of drive. So today we're happy to have Ann Khoo, the founder and CEO of CTAPPS MSCs and Berhad, to share with us an entrepreneurial journey over the past 20 plus years and inspire us with her insights and lessons. So Ann, I understand you started this business about 23 years ago. In fact, you just celebrated your 23rd anniversary recently.
Yeah, last Wednesday.
Yeah, so welcome to the ProfitMAX podcast, and please introduce yourself and your business.
Yeah,
Tell us,
sure.
yeah.
Yep. Okay. My name is Ann Khoo. You can call me Ann.
Yeah.
And I'm actually started CTAPPS in '98, and I'm very much into how I say, yeah. I'm a person who loves to meet people, and I never know that I will be in the business when I was young. Now, as a young child, my ambition was not really great until later years in my life.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started CTAPPS more like how I say, during a time when it is really where there's a peak of the recession in '98.
Mm.
I was working for a Singaporean company, a software house.
You started during the recession of 1998. That is the time of the Asian financial crisis, right?
Yeah. That time I was offered a position by one US company.
Ah.
But after a lot of thoughts, I decided to start my own. And I tell my husband, if I fail, touch wood, yeah. If I fail, I'll come back and become a housewife. And
All right, very good. So before that, you were saying you work for a Singaporean company, is it?
yes, I am. I was the country manager.
Ah.
That boss of mine, actually, he's a Malaysian, married a Singaporean, then become Singaporean. He's a guy who just take anything and sell. I think maybe I learned the entrepreneurship from him.
Ah.
And he's also the guy who want to sell just anything and do just everything. he managed to get the company listed, the company that I started with him back in '94. He managed to get it listed in 2000, but I left in '98.
Ah.
Yeah, but most of the business was because they actually focus in this calling card platform, which will, that time Malaysia was not so ready.
Sorry, what platform?
Calling card, those
Calling card,
prepaid
okay.
postpaid calling card platform.
Yes, yes.
So they were doing very well overseas. So I was traveling overseas during that time also. Then there's also the time I got my girl. She's also 23 years old this year.
Wow.
So when I was working for the Singaporean company, I traveled so much that I didn't really have a family life. But somehow or other, I decided to start on my own, hope to have more control over my time.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So tell me, Ann, when you first started, I guess like every other business that's starting, there are always some business challenges and some hurdles, right? So maybe you can share one or two of the challenges when you were starting out and how did you overcome them?
I think starting a software house, basically you need to have right people. Software house, that means you need to have developers. I actually work with some of my colleagues who has left the job. I gather them together and we go small, and we have good support from the customer. But the thing is that we need to grow more, right? So at least we have one client. Then when they grow more, they always find that we are local. During '98 time, I think the community or the business people in Malaysia are not so, how I say it, they don't really believe that Malaysians have good developers. But we were developing solutions during then for a lot of Asian countries, and some actually used in Europe. So I think the trust for local talent was not there.
I see.
Local talent, and also they need to have a lot of reference sites. I remember I was shortlisted in one of the tender.
Mm.
And out of the 7 candidates, I'm the kacang putih one, the smallest one. And then when we were further shortlist, become like the 2 of them. And I was called for a meeting, but it was during then also we do a lot of a conference call meeting. So I attended, and I was asked by the CTO. No, she actually gave me a remark. Your company is so small, you just started. If I give you this order and you cannot deliver and you close down, what happened? I was really hurt. That time I was really hurt. But I pulled myself together and I tell her, I said, Madam, if I fail, I have so many programmers, can you take them over? And I actually won the deal, and after that we become friends. He was asking the staff, who is this woman telling me things like that? I said, yeah, la, you push me to the wall. I'm starting my business. I said, Tigerist, you don't say, don't tell me negative things like this. But yeah, somehow or other, I was in the position that I got no choice, but I got a chance. Yeah.
Okay, great. So what I'm hearing from you, Ann, is that having a team is essential in building a business, and you were able to assemble your team from your previous job, a few of them,
Yes.
over, or they came under your employment or whatever. A team from scratch rather than on your own and trying to knock here and there.
Yeah,
So
I'm not a software. I'm not a software person. Maybe I would say that I'm an entrepreneur rather than
okay.
technically wise. Since in the business for so long, because I know what I'm into, and I can even give the consultancy in terms of very layman technical, layman technical side, but layman technical. But I'm actually
technical is better, right? Because we don't understand. We don't want to know all the technical
jargon. I don't use the jargon.
Yeah.
I use the very layman way. And even initially when I started the business, we don't have too many staff. I used to draw the call, the diagram, design the flow on my own. So much so that when I have a budget and I hire a technical staff who can do the like the call flow design, the client actually called me out and said, I want the type of call flow like last time done by Ann, because they put a lot of technical jargon they cannot understand. So after that, we start to, we understand the customer better. So we try to use in that kind of language that they can understand.
Okay, great. Yeah. It's like, I guess it's like driving a car, right? You don't need to know how the car works. You just need to know how to drive it.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, great. So it looks like you have all the skills for being an entrepreneur. And it's another testimony, I guess, that you don't need to be technically an expert technically to be able to start a business and grow a business.
Yeah, I mean, in the software house, of course, you need to have a good technical team with you.
Sure.
But for me, I'm not technically sound, but
so
things can be learned.
Yeah, expert, yeah.
But somehow or other, at times I still wish that I'm technically, programmer as well, so I can know more.
Okay, all right. So going back to the challenge of initially landing the first big deal, how did you land your first big deal? I mean, what was the breakthrough point, where you were able to scale up and yeah.
During 1998, when we came out, that's the peak of the recession.
Mm.
So a lot of telecom communication. I started off by building solution for the telecommunication company in Malaysia, and they were actually having a capex freeze or a reduce. So I actually went in and give them an offer where I did something quite challenging as well. I said, okay, I put in the system, I'll build for you. Yeah, you make the business, then you pay me. So we do on like a revenue share model. Yeah, so much so that the service went so well, and the revenue that I got was high, and they bought over the system.
Wow.
I wish they continue to share with me, but no, they bought over. But doesn't matter. There actually a good chance been given to me, and from there on, I have a good reference site that I can actually share, because in our industry, the customer don't like to be the test bait, But this situation, they actually give me a chance to become use my product as the test on their market. and it
Okay.
works, I start to replicate into other part of the, in other part of the telco as well as other countries through
Yeah.
partners. I sell through partners. In local telco, I do directly, but for overseas, I work with the local partners. They know the local culture better, so I just work with them hand in hand.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So
today,
how did you start to expand to these other markets outside of Malaysia?
networking,
Ah,
and I think
you go to international fairs or what?
when I first started, I spent a lot in going to all the telco shows. Yeah,
Ah,
the shows.
shows. Ah.
Yeah, I go, but not too far lah. That time budget was quite not so much. I only go to Hong Kong and Singapore, and
Ah.
some of them in Malaysia. So we also start to do demo and also give talks, yeah, to get some exposure.
Mm.
And then we, being a local company compared to a foreign bigger company, they will charge you for consultancy. In my case, I don't charge for consultancy. I give all the ideas and hope they buy my ideas and buy from us. But sometimes we also find that they get our ideas and they get other people to do. But it doesn't matter, if you keep it to yourself so much, nobody knows, you will never grow. If a person can cheat you, they can only cheat you one time, right? Don't be cheated 2 times. Yeah.
So that shows, that you're very, how shall I say, your mindset is very different. No, you believe in sharing, you believe in collaborating with others, sharing ideas, and if they take your idea and steal it, well, too bad. But there'll be other ideas,
Yeah. Life goes on. Don't dwell on something that is already rotten.
Yes.
Just
Move forward.
it's always good to learn from other mistakes, but once in a while you learn from your own mistake, which is bad. It happens.
Yeah.
I read a lot. I read a
Ah.
lot, and I go to seminars. I attend conferences, and I also come across very nice people, who are so willing to share and also teach me along the way. Even up to today, I still have a coach coaching me.
Ah.
I always believe to learn. Never stop learning.
Okay.
Yeah, and network is very, very important.
Yes. Great. So it looks like you have all those skills. You have the talent to connect with people, you have the talent to collaborate, you have the talent to be resilient. Yeah, the ability to be resilient and come back after what they call falling forward, right? I recently came across a term called falling upwards. That's a great one, right? Falling.
How does that happen?
Yeah.
Falling upward is really nice.
It's called getting closer to heaven.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like when you fall, you recover, pick yourself up, and then you're at a higher level.
Yep.
Like you were saying, lessons. The thing about failure is it can be painful, but then the lesson that you learn is so big, Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It's always good to learn from other.
Yes.
Read more and listen more. So don't make a mistake learn from your own mistake. Rather learn from other people and don't get into a deep hole on your own.
Less expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess some of these challenges must have shaped the way you do business and your business philosophy. And by the way, does being a woman in this business bring you any challenges, or on the converse, does it bring you some advantages?
I think in terms of discrimination, frankly speaking, I don't really feel it lah. But I know there's a lot of people are talking about women's right, women be discriminated. Maybe because I'm as you met me, right? The first time we met the other day, I'm the person who are quite outspoken and also outgoing. So sometimes when I go with the guys, I'm also one of the guys. They don't even treat me like a lady. So I think we fight together.
Yeah.
But being a woman, is there an advantage? I really don't thought about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe there is an advantage, but I did not really realize about it.
Yeah. I think you have a very strong quality of being a people person. You're able to connect with all kinds of people, and you connect with people very fast. I think that's a great quality, great attribute to have.
They
Because
always call me the kepochi, you know.
yeah, but you're not really a kepochi. You're just good at connecting with people, no?
Yeah, I like meeting friends. You know, if one day without friends, I just
Kepochi is
cannot
a
go.
negative. Kepochi sounds like people gossip a lot. Yeah. I don't think you're like that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So wanted to check with you.
Sure.
Maybe you could share one or two strategies or stories, no? How you scaled up. So you were talking about you went to international fairs, did networking, connected with people, they trusted you, they decided to try your product, and that's how you grew and expanded, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Were there one or two stories that were, interesting that we can learn from? In terms of
Yeah.
meeting your partners or being conned by your partners or
Yeah. Actually, my overseas. I've been doing a lot of overseas trip, but my first overseas business actually come from Cambodia. During then, Cambodia, during the early 2000,
okay,
many people wouldn't dare to go to Cambodia.
yeah,
I managed to go there is because I have friends, Malaysian friends working there. So
mm,
that's how I explore the market. When they are new, then I even start a company there.
ah,
But
local
it was
partner or what?
Malaysian with the Malaysian in Cambodia.
Wow,
But I think that's a mistake. Because the Malaysian being a Malaysian, we don't know the local culture a lot.
yeah,
So I started and it doesn't do well.
uh-huh.
But I went back again 5 years later through a partner, and that's how it works. So for me, I always think that when you go to overseas, you must have, of course, luck play on top of working hard. Luck also play a part lah. So we actually met a guy who represent my product, and he bring my product to Cambodia, and that's where we grow from there. Rather than starting my own company, I actually work with a local company. But today, after we know each other for long, we actually started a company with a Cambodian there itself.
Ah,
Yeah, so you must know the local culture, and also if you want to expand to overseas, you must always meet them as well. No doubt you already have a partner there, but you still have to go and see them often and give them value.
mm,
When you give them value, the relationship will be long, and don't be too calculative. Sometimes you will see. I think I have some ex-staff actually was telling me, "Hey, and we do too much. We charge too low." Sometimes when you want to venture in, you got no choice. Yeah, of course, it will be good if actually I can take advantage of a high price, a less job. But because of the trust we give to our local partner, they actually trust us further, and they bring us further as well. Not only for the country that we go, but they also introduce us to other part of like the neighboring country as well.
okay.
Yeah, working with partners for me work better than going on your own.
Yeah,
But
you say
that's my size. But of course, I also dream to have a big business in the country that I have presence as well. Yeah, so today we also have our system with partners in Bangladesh. Previously, we have in Myanmar, but Myanmar I am not. At this point of time, we are not traveling there yet, but we still have partner working there as well as Vietnam. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we also expanding to Indonesia. So we have some of our team member during the COVID, they went home. They built a team in Indonesia for us. So we are slowly going into Indonesia as well.
Okay. All right. Before I ask you how much of your business is overseas versus local, just want to come back to the point you made about connecting with your partners and offering value, and sometimes even offering them more value than they expect.
Yes.
So that's a very, how shall I say, a very abundant attitude, no? Where you're coming from, I don't mind giving, I don't mind sharing, and I don't mind sharing more than I need to, because I want to win your trust and your confidence. Is that right?
Yep.
Would that be your part of
I
your
think
philosophy?
the trust should be continuous. It's not going to be just because you get them to you and then you start to take advantage of them. No, you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
You should treat people fairly and professionally. Yeah. Like for us today, many of my business partners are my friends. We even travel together. In some of them, we actually go for holiday together too.
Great. Yeah, I mean, when your partners are friends, it becomes such a nice thing, right?
Yes.
Working together with friends, it becomes a very nice relationship. So, how do you pick out? I mean, how do you identify someone to be the right person to work with? I mean, do you just look at their qualification, their capability, their business, or how do you assess the person and see whether that's the right chemistry or the right whatever you want to call it?
Peter, I think first look is very hard to tell. It's always about time. And you also mix with people. You can ask around the people in the industry.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think of this guy? What do you think of this lady?
Yeah. Of course, that's the whole reason why the industry can be big but can be very small. If you do anything wrong, everybody will know. You keep good, hopefully, the good word will go around. That's what.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good. So give us an idea, Ann, how much of your business is overseas and how much of it is local Malaysian domestic?
I think we like overseas we have about maybe 40%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, total, yeah.
That's quite significant.
Yeah, actually, software house, right? You have to go far.
Okay.
But we hope to grow more in Malaysia as well. So I think actually from last year onwards, we focus in working with more partnership than before. Then we start to come up. My product come into easier packages, and affordable packages. I started my business doing a lot of projects. Then over the time, I productize my project, and from the productized project, I sell it off as a one-off CAPEX. And then now I start to move into, you can pay by installment. Some of them actually rent for me. And these days we also have our, especially like my call center engagement softwares. I actually have it in the cloud already. Even my messaging platform, it's actually in the cloud, so it becomes very affordable.
Okay. So yours is a very fast-moving, dynamic industry, right? There's so many changes, so many innovations, and all that. New products keep coming on, new features, cloud computing, and all that. So how do you adapt and how do you stay in front of the game?
Actually, in this industry, I think in many industry as well, you always have to keep updated yourself. What is the trend? What is the market need? What is the thing that make life easier for people? There's always about putting up the solutions that people require. And for my team, we actually do a lot of R&D as well. We make the money. We make the money, and then a certain percentage we actually plow back to do R&D. And then in my team, we also do buddy system. We do buddy system so that the senior guy can continue to research for new things. So whatever they learn, they can pass to the junior.
Okay. Yep. All right.
So keep on. We have to keep on evolve. Otherwise, in a software house, you definitely have to go into that directions. Otherwise, you will lose out.
Yeah, but you're not a technical person, right? You're not a software engineer. So how do you do that? How do you yourself keep up to date, or you just get feedback from your team, or what?
Networking, meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reading,
go into social media.
Okay.
Yeah, social media will tell you a lot of stories. Then go into those the social apps as well. Yep. I think I also see that you're pretty active in LinkedIn, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a good platform as well.
Yeah. So basically, you are on top of the game by looking at all the sources and you know what to sieve out and what to focus on, huh?
You need to mix with the people in the industry as well. We don't see the competitor as competitor. We are still friends with competitors. Just that you do your part of business, I do my part of business. The market is big enough. Yeah, that's very important because I don't think any one person can keep in touch with every aspect of the business nowadays, no? Yeah.
So like you say, it's good to meet up with your people in the same industry, exchange ideas, exchange updates and all that.
Yeah.
End of the day, it's a win-win.
Yeah, I never know, one day your competitor become your partner.
Yeah.
Rather than you compete and, crash the whole business environment, might as well you work together. And actually today there's a trend going forward,
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So how would you describe the mindset that is required to build business that is strong and sustainable for the long term?
The mindset, positive,
Mm-hmm.
keep on trying,
Mm-hmm.
and don't take advantage of people.
Mm.
Yeah. And learn whenever you can, and be humble as well.
Mm. Okay, great
Yeah.
qualities. So staying positive, staying resilient, right? In the face of challenges, hurdles, obstacles, what have you, being magnanimous and being humble. Okay, that's great, awesome. How did this philosophy come about? I guess through many years, I guess, huh?
Yeah, also a lot of coaches.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, learning from my peers. I'm fortunate to meet a lot of very successful people who do not mind to share, how to make it. So that's why I say the being kepo, right? You always, hey, how you do it, huh? That's what I mean by kepo, right?
Yeah.
I don't know this guy. Can you recommend this guy to me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So having the humility to ask for
Yeah.
knowledge, for support, for ideas, for advice, for whatever, huh?
Yep.
Okay, great. Perhaps a final question, no?
Mm-hmm.
What words of advice would you give for new entrepreneurs or business people starting out today?
You have to keep update yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, and of course, working hard is always a must.
Mm.
And keep on continue to gain more knowledge and also go network. And do not be, how I say, do not be afraid to ask. Yeah.
Yep.
Don't be shy. Go for it.
Yes.
You can be shy if people scold you. It's only one time. Don't go back to the same guy who scold you again unless it's a really good deal.
Yeah. There's a saying, the faster you learn, the faster you earn. So what you're saying is learn fast, learn a lot. Don't be afraid to ask for advice. Work like crazy, work hard. Be prepared to really work hard.
Yeah.
And those
until today we still have to work hard.
Yeah.
Work hard, but of course you must not forget to enjoy your life.
Yes. So sounds like you have a very strong purpose, because working hard for so many years is not easy, right? And I noticed that entrepreneurs, business people, have this strong drive, to want to achieve. So even though they could have built the business for 20, 30 years, but they're still very driven. So what is it that drives you? What's the purpose of the business?
I think you should enjoy the journey.
Mm.
I actually enjoy the journey. That's why it keep me going. At one time, one of my ex-coach was calling me the lady serial entrepreneur. But that's because I like, meeting people and then do business. But I need to focus, that's for sure.
Okay.
So I have take the advice and streamline and focus.
Okay. All right. Great. Excellent. So thanks a lot, Ann. Very good insights there. And I'm sure our ProfitMAX podcast listeners will enjoy this and get a lot of lessons from it. So thanks a lot. Okay, you guys who have been following this one episode after another, I hope you're getting value from this. More importantly, I'd like to ask you to like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on future episodes. Okay, thanks a lot.